confusion with the term half-Jew, and why can someone be a half-Jew but they can't be a half-Christian or a half Muslim or Buddhist or Hindu or Sikh? Why can someone be half of a religion? The reason is because Jews are an ethno-religious group. So when we say half-Jew, we're really referring to the ethnicity, although it's a little bit more complicated than that, but let me try to explain. You really can't be a half-Christian. If you're a Christian, you believe that Jesus is the Messiah, you believe that he died on the cross for your sins, and the only way to salvation is through him. You can't half believe that. Either you believe it or you don't believe it. So you can't be a half Christian, but you can be a secular Christian. You can be an evangelist. You can, there's a whole spectrum there, and you can be at one end or the other and anything in between. You could be a Christian by name only. You could go to church for Easter. And maybe you're going to go to church around Christmas time if your niece is singing in the choir. And that's pretty much, that's all you really do. You might exchange gifts for Christmas, but, that's pretty much it. So that's secular. And you can have the same thing with any religion. There's lots of people who call themselves Muslim, and they don't even, they've never read the Quran. They have absolutely no idea anything about their religion, but they call themselves Muslims because that's their background. Same thing with Christianity. Lots of people have never read the Bible. They have no idea. Same thing with Judaism. Lots of people have never read the Torah. They have no idea. Okay, fine. Now that's talking about religion, strictly religion. But Jews are an ethno-religious group. So that's very unique. I don't really know, to be honest, any other ethno-religious group. I guess there are some, but I don't think that there's anything quite as unique as the Jews. The Jews, are there converts? There are some, okay, but very few. Jews originated in Israel as a people, the Hebrews. Then they had to leave the Middle East, and they went out into diaspora. They went up into Italy, from there Germany. They spread across Eastern Europe, Russia, and then they went the other way to Spain. Some stayed in the Middle East. There were some that stayed in Israel, but Jews ended up spreading out all over the world. Now, there are three main Jewish ethnicities. There are more than that, of course. There are some other groups like Chinese Jews, Indian Jews, Ethiopians, Yemeni. But the main three groups are the Ashkenazim. That's the plural for Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi Jews, European Jews. Okay, Eastern European, generally. There are the Sephardim, or Sephardic Jews, the Spanish Jews, and there are the Mizrahim, but usually the Sephardim and the Mizrahim are clumped together as one group because after the Spanish Inquisition, the Spanish Jews, they went into Morocco, spread out across North Africa, all the way to the Middle East. They spread out. So Middle Eastern Jews and Spanish Jews, they're pretty much the same people, so they're usually clumped together. So, but these two groups, the Sephardim and the Ashkenazim, are found to be, through genetic studies, more closely related to one another than we are to other people, which means that Jews are Jews no matter where we are. There are some slight differences in the cultures. There's some slight differences with food, with language. Of course, Hebrew is, the religious language. Of course, the language of Israel. But as far as Jews in diaspora, Spanish Jews, they spoke Ladino, while the Eastern European Jews spoke Yiddish. But they both have a mixture of Hebrew in the languages. But all over the world, Jews, no matter what ethnicity they are, they have their Jewish culture. But we are a people. That's what I'm getting at. We are a people. So if you say, well, for example, I have a German mother and a Jewish father whose family came from Russia. Now, any geneticist will tell you that we are not Russian. We're Jewish. When the Russian Jews came over to America, you can see it on census reports. They were classified as Hebrews. Nationality was Russian, but the race was listed as Hebrew. And that is what we are, really, if you think about it. So, and then the language was listed as Yiddish. So that's how those old records show. So even back then, people knew, we're not Russian, we're Jewish. But a lot of people, they get hung up on this idea of the religion. Either you're a Jew or you're not a Jew. They're talking about the religion. But what about the ethnicity? I'm German on my mother's side, and what am I on my father's side? Nothing? I'm nothing? I can't say that I have any ethnicity at all on my father's side? Of course I have an ethnicity on my father's side. Everyone does. We get 50% of our genes from our mothers and 50% of our genes from our fathers. So I could say I'm half German and half Ashkenazi, but no one will know what I'm talking about. Nobody knows that term, Ashkenazi. So it's just easier to say half Jewish. I'm a half Jew. But it goes deeper than that. And I don't really know how to explain it other than to compare it maybe to Italians or Greeks or Irish and how passionate they are about being Italian or Greek or Irish. They have this passion for it. They're so proud to be what they are. They're proud of their people. And it's the same thing with a half Jew. You are proud to be Jewish. And it's not only the ethnicity, and that's one thing that's unique about Jews, because it is also a religion, so you feel it. You feel it in your heart. You feel it in your soul. There's a spiritual connection to Judaism, to your people. It's a spiritual connection to Israel, a love, a deep love for Israel. So I'm just trying to get my point across for all the people who tell me, there's no such thing as a half Jew. You're a Jew or you're not. No, it's just a complicated issue. And hopefully I have made my point and explained it a little bit more clearly so you understand. But for further explanation, read my book, Half Jew, Searching for Identity. Thank you so much.